Hi there, it's Shannon Marin with the Marin Marketing Team, eXp Realty and Shannon Marin Personal Real Estate Corporation. Today is Vancouver Island Vision, and we are introducing you to Phil Vaillancourt, artist, tattooist, and carver right here in Campbell River. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so tell us about Phil. How did Phil get started in the art world?
I've been an artist since I was a kid. Started drawing, sketching, messing around with stuff like that when I was 5. Just always kind of did art as I got older, and then in my teenage years progressed to doing a lot of mural work, that kind of thing, and then the scale just gradually grew.
Wow, you started young.
Yeah, and then the interest from there just kind of started weaving, and it led me into more kind of like cultural style art that had more spirit in it and more meaning and had more value to the person wearing it or holding it.
Okay.
And then eventually it led me into tattooing.
Wow, okay. So a lot of that must come from your background and your heritage then?
Some of it did. I had a love affair of the ocean and surfing. Okay. So I had a big thing with Polynesian culture and surfing, and I started noticing their tattoos. That got me curious because I was noticing the people in New Zealand, the people in Tahiti, Samoa, Hawaii, all had similar tattoos, but I could tell they were still distinctly different to those cultures.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I ended up going to Hawaii for a month and surfing and like talking to tattooists and kind of like learning what was the difference between what, and then started really just researching, studying, learning. And when I first started tattooing, the first person I ever tattooed was a Hawaiian woman.
Oh, yeah.
So I felt like I was in alignment with that path.
Yeah. And it's, like a lot more than just, putting a butterfly tattoo on there. You actually went and researched the culture and everything behind the different cultures. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with those kind of tattoos that you kind of go in and pick something off the wall.
Yeah.
But it's a little different when you're telling someone's story on their skin for their family and it's their lineage. A lot of people know the actor The Rock. Right. His tattoo is his personal identification. Yeah. So you actually can't copy or mimic his tattoo. It'd be like me taking your driver's license and saying, do you mind if I use this for ID? It's the same thing. Right. So there is a difference, there is respect, there's a story there's culture, there's family, so yeah.
Yeah, that's a very, very cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've been all over the place, tattooing all over the place, and we'll get into your carving in a second because that's your real passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's more the direction things are going. So I actually got into carving because I was getting a lot of requests for First Nations tattoos.
Okay.
And when I did, I realized I didn't really know anything, and I didn't feel comfortable enough tattooing First Nations art on people if I wasn't responsible for explaining it. Because as a tattooist, you are responsible for what you put on people.
Yeah.
And with this stuff, I started just asking a lot of questions. I tattooed a couple Haida guys that turned into really long-term friends, great people. And they started showing and sharing a bit of the art form with me. Okay. And through them, I started branching out and meeting more people. And the community just kind of kept growing and growing. So I actually got into carving because of tattooing.
That's a neat path.
Yeah, and it unfolded on its own. It was really organic. I didn't really, it just happened naturally. Right,
okay. So you have a native background as well, though.
Yeah, so I'm Mi'kmaq Nation.
Okay.
So we're originally from the East Coast, like Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
That neck of the woods, and the history of our tribe, we kind of spread inland along with Anishinaabe and the Blackfoot. Okay. And so our family, we actually live really close to Ottawa, where we're from, Algonquin territory. Mm-hmm. And so I grew up with my dad being Native, my mom being Irish, so I kind of had, and also speaking French and English, I kind of had a foot in every corner of our country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Very well-rounded.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. So now you've been doing the tattooing, it evolved into carving. Victoria was your last place, and now you're here in Campbell River. So what does that look like for you?
Campbell River feels like home. It's a big, small town, and it feels a lot like where I come from. Okay. So it's the times I do kind of miss home, or miss my family. I kind of feel like being here, in a weird way, is comforting because I feel like that environment is very similar to where and how I grew up. The people, cool. Like how genuine people are. Things are a little more slow paced. You can breathe a little deeper. Yeah. I find in small towns. Yeah. So I find that really conducive to living a lifestyle of being a carver and an artist.
For sure, because, you know, in a small town, it's all about relationships. And, you know, somebody's saying, oh, hey, you know, I'm looking to have this tattoo or this carving done. Oh, well, I know the guy, right? You know, and that's what it is in Campbell River especially. It's a lot of people wanting to share what they know about other people. Right? So, yeah. So tell us about your carvings and what kind of stuff you're doing and more about that.
Yeah, so one of my friends had pointed out the best way to learn the art form. So there's generally two different styles of native art. There's like the northern stuff, Northwest Coast, which is predominantly like Haida, Tlingit, and Tsimshian.
Okay.
And then you've got everything else, which kind of falls under the category of Coast Salish, which is Vancouver Island and then downwards.
That's probably what most people know or most people are familiar with, right?
Right. Yeah. Because you normally know your surroundings the best.
Yeah.
So with Haida and Tlingit guys kind of training me, I learned the northern style first. Okay. So a lot of my stuff does look northern because that's how I was taught. Yeah. And there's proportions, mathematics, symmetry involved. It's actually got a lot of structure and rules to it, which for how I think I found really appealing. So I started getting into that, and yeah, one of my buddies said the best way to learn the art form is to pick up a knife and learn how to carve. You'll understand everything you're trying to learn a lot easier because it all comes from a knife.
Okay.
So that kind of opened up a new door of understanding, and coming at something like that with an approach of integrity and respect. Yeah. And wanting to just contribute, not so much take. I found that was a really good kind of entrance into the art form.
I like what you just said there. Yeah, contributing, not taking.
Yeah, there's a difference there for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's how we learn anything, really. You know, the more you're giving back, the more you're learning.
Yeah, because you receive a lot more when you give, even though you're not expecting to really receive anything. Yeah. So it's been cool, the stories, the knowledge, the knives I've been given. Yeah. The things guys have spent time to break down and explain to me, and like stories that go with certain things, like that to me is it's like the true currency of a relationship in exchange.
Yeah, that's the reward, getting the knowledge, right?
Totally.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like the line that you used that we were talking about the other day. Do you remember?
Oh, what's the best that can happen?
I love that.
I don't know if it's my line, but it definitely resonates and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, most people say, what's the worst thing that can happen, but what's the best? Yeah. Right? That's the way we should be looking at things, right?
Yeah, aim for the stars.
Yeah. So where are you planning on working in Campbell River? Are you set up at home? Are you going to work in a studio, or how do people find you?
In terms of tattooing right now, I am working at Golden Anchor Tattoo.
Okay, great people.
Great people, great shop, great reputation, really good energy. It's a good shop. Okay. As for carving, I've got my own space I'll be working out of, and I'm still taking commissions right now and working on stuff privately. Okay. So basically email is the best way to get a hold of me. Okay, and what's your email? Right now it's windancer444@gmail.com. Okay. So what's your website? So the website is philvdesign.ca. Okay. And that's the best way to... people can see your work on there and also contact you through the website. Yep. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to find out more information about great people to meet, places to go, and things to do on Vancouver Island.